Welcome to this weird new thing I'm going to be starting, which is Anime ASAP, which is your source for quick reviews so you can stop listening to this and start watching that as soon as possible. So, today we will be discussing Deadman Wonderland, and I'm going to try to keep these to under 5 minutes, and I timed myself in this one, and it was 3 minutes and 47 seconds, although I've added probably a good 15 seconds already. So, Deadman Wonderland is an early 2011 release based off of a late 2007 manga release written by Jinsei Kataoka and illustrated by Kazuma Kondo. In its universe, most of Tokyo was consumed by an earthquake 10 years before our plot begins, and a prison/amusement park called Deadman Wonderland was opened where the city used to stand. Certain individuals within the city when the quake happened now have powers known as Branch of Sin, which allows them to control their blood for multiple purposes, although we mostly see it for combative purposes like bullets or blades. Ganta is a 14-year-old boy who witnesses the slaughter of his entire school class, has a Branch of Sin placed in him, and then has the whole slaughter thing blame thrust upon him. Things only get worse as he's sent to Deadman Wonderland, where he's forced to fight against other Branch of Sin users, watch some friends get tortured, and gets roped into a rebellion he's not ready to fight in. You could say things are pretty shit for him, so that's the gist of the story. Try not to spoil too much here, so you can go and watch it if you want to, but how does everything else fare? The animation is nothing standout, but it doesn't fall short either, sitting in a very nice middle ground with some very well done framings. The character designs fall in the same range, with obvious intrigue into Shiro's design, but not really for anyone else. So, how are these characters developed over 12 episodes? Well, Ganta was a little bit on track, but the final episodes see all his hints of growth thrown out the window for a final down and out scene. Yo is just there, and his sister relies on standard crazy girl tropes. However, Shiro actually stands out as we get a very clear feel for how she acts, leading to a heavy scene near the end that uses our knowledge of her actions to show just how much Ganta means to her. Falling in line with the character development, the pacing has a more jarring nature to it as well. The ending scheme feels incredibly rushed and forced, and the first conflicts in the prison rely on some throwaway villains. The music has some tinges of creep to it when needed, but nothing to write home about. The concept is something very original, and although it requires some suspension of disbelief in some plot points, most stories do, especially anime, and it's nothing egregious. An amusement park prison is a wild and interesting concept and allows for some great scenarios and contrasts. However, it's mostly ditched past the halfway point, and the compound loses most of its prison feel as well. This concept, though, allows for some of the best mood and tone I've seen in a while. The creepier and horror-esque moments were too weak to have much impact save one, but there are a lot of well-done visceral quick hits, which add a nice shock factor. The whole story, and Ganta specifically, has an edgy I don't give a fuck tone to it. It features some of the most harsh language I've seen in an anime at points, which fits perfectly into the tone. It hits edgy without falling into cringy. The Carnival Corpse fights, which is the Branch of Sin users fighting against each other, embody this the best with some gritty rock music and an announcer who can't lay off joyous alliteration playing over top of bloody fights. Sadly, the action in these fights is rather quick and rushed to get to the typical underdog comeback speeches and moments, but they're some of the most succinct and poignant ones I've seen, with each coming to the head of I don't give a fuck from Ganta. It would be even more impactful if the moments felt worthy, but the drama felt unwarranted due to a lack of true build-up in most cases. Towards the end, we see some more interesting antagonists who bring up more introspective and philosophical quandaries, but there wasn't enough time to explore them in any true detail. It also ends unresolved due to a lack of some major players in the manga to anime adaptation, and it's more than likely the finale of the anime for good. Leaving things open isn't a bad thing, however, and it's something fans should honestly allow to happen more. When you beg for true endings, we get things like Metal Gear Solid 4. So what's the overall verdict? Go ahead and give it a watch when you have some downtime, but don't rush out and cancel things to sit down and watch this. At 12 episodes, it won't eat up too much attention, and the tone, mood, and concept are worth exploring. If you want a number value, I'd give it somewhere around a 5, bumped up for the concept, which puts it on level with things on my list like Akame ga Kill and Tokyo Ghoul Re.